All right, in this video, I'll be unboxing the latest Japanese BFS Reel. This is the 2025 Daiwa Alphas BF TW, got it from Digitaka, no affiliations. I got the left-hand retrieve 8.5 speed. There is a 6 speed, but as you guys know, I not only talk fast, I retrieve fast, usually. But, I can slow down when I need to, right? But, I'm a trigger-happy kind of guy. Anyways, I am excited for this specific reel here because a lot of reels in the bait finesse realm has been focused on size 28mm spool. And that's a no-brainer because everyone been trying to cast that very, very light lure, okay? And having a size 28mm spool means you can make the spool very light, very easy because you make the spool small, right? And also, having a small diameter spool restrict the amount of line being dispensed per rotation. Therefore, it could minimize overspooling. It can control overspooling very, very easily. So that's why pretty much every brand out there, we're focused on size 28mm spools. Anyhow, this reel here does not sport a size 28mm spool. It rocks a size 30, just a little bit bigger, okay? And this is going to be catered to the bass fishermen. And with more and more people doing bait finesse in tournament scene, you're going to see that they will want a larger spool because they're going to be using heavier line as well as heavier lures to catch some fish. And what's really exciting is that there's a lot of Japanese folks coming to US to do bass fishing in America. And this guy here, the owner of K.T.F, who helped Daiwa create these awesome bait finesse spools, Sawamura Yukihiro, he'll be tournament fishing as well in the Bass Master circuit. So this is really cool. Anyway, let's get this unboxing started. Let's talk about some of the features that's listed on the box. And of course, we'll go over some of the specs. You guys can hit pause if you guys want to. But we're going to start off by talking about this guy here, BF Concept. I like to read some of these marketing jargon to you guys because, they actually have a lot of stuff listed on the website. And I read them before I got this reel. So BF Concept simply just means this reel here could cast ultralight lures very easily and freely. It could do some low trajectory casting very well and far. And then it got ultra lightweight micro bearings, which allows that spool to start up very, very easily. All right. And let's move along to the back. The first thing is hyperdrive design. This is their marketing jargon for a set of features such as their digi gears, which is precise cutting of gears for increased smoothness and durability, the double support or bearing support on both sides of the pinion gears. Hyperdrive arm housing is basically full metal frame. It uses aluminum alloy of some sort. The last one is tough clutch. Basically, the clutch system is crisp on or off. There's no sticking, and it's even saltwater rated. In saltwater realm, when it dries, the salt does create some sort of sticking, right? But they're saying that it's saltwater rated and that shouldn't happen. So if you guys are going to fish saltwater and you want to use this, give it a shot. Let me know. All right, the next thing is the ultimate casting design. That is also a new marketing jargon that describes as set features. Okay, the first one is the ultimate casting zero adjust, basically the zero adjuster. For those who are not familiar, Daiwa reels are pre-tuned for the tension. And the tension knob is really hard to adjust for that reason because they want you to only use the magnetic dial, okay, on the side plate. So yeah, we'll look at that in a second, okay? The ultimate casting line guide, or basically the T-wing system, that is the wing system, which we'll look at later. Basically, in fact, I have another reel right here. It's the same thing, okay? So you guys see this right here? This is the T-wing system, okay? So this allows the lure to dispense freely when it's going out, but when you're retrieving, you see that it goes back narrow so that it could manage the line very, very nicely. The combination of allowing your line to cast out freely and also manage properly yields better casting distance. Okay. The last one is basically the casting spool. It's super lightweight. It's using G1 Dora aluminum, keeping the spool light and also durable. Okay. So anyway, that makes up that feature for ultimate casting, right? Anyway, once again, I got the 8 speed. There is a 6 speed, okay? The 8.5 speed is 80 centimeters per turn. It weighs 165 grams, and it has a max drag of 3.5 kilograms. Now, let's take a look at the line. It's very interesting for fluoro nylon, okay? Basically fluoro or mono, regardless of 5, 6, or 8 pounds, or even your PE braid, okay? Which is 0.8 go right there. The recommendation, max capacity is 50 yards. And there's a reason for that. If you're using fluoro nylon, right, they stretch, and being that these spools are very, very thin and fragile in a way, you don't want to use too much line, because if you guys ever watch those videos of the watermelon with rubber bands, well, if you have too much line on and you do any sort of stretching of the line, okay, if you're battling a big fish or you're pulling your line because it got snagged, if you have too much line, the resistance, okay, that's closer to the spool, when you have a lot of line stacked on it, that will not relieve that tension, and it will continue constantly squeezing your spool, and it could warp your spool. So therefore, they limit the amount of line. The recommendation is 50 yards, okay? Anyhow, let's open this baddie and take a look at it. All right, JDM box, let's go. Let's go. We got a lot of paperwork in there. Not gonna look at any of those. Cheap recycled bag, and behold, here we are. Look at that reel. Beautiful reel. Okay, I'm looking at this, and it looks pretty close to the 2020 Alphas Air TW or 2024 Pixie BF 70. There's only a few minor differences. Okay, so we'll bring it over in a second. We'll talk about it. But it has your typical grippy knob. The handle looks different. Okay, it does have the star drag as Zion. You can see it's sparkling, and it does have a drag clicker. So that's a win for those who like drag clickers. Okay, the Alphas or Pixie didn't have it. This one got it. You can see that the shroud around that zero adjuster is silver now. I think that's metal. Okay. It feels cold, so I think it might be metal, or it might be just, you know, plated plastic. But that is a zero adjuster. As you see, it's really hard to tune because it's already factory tuned. You're not supposed to tune this, okay? You're supposed to just use this guy out here, the dial outside, which is easy to turn, which I like, okay? Drag clicker, once again. Let's see the clutch. Feels pretty solid. Spool starts off very easy. Like, I'm putting not much weight to it. Like, it spins well. Okay, T-wing system. There you go. Okay. Made in Thailand for those who cares. Okay. Anyways, let's take a look at the two reels here. This is the Alphas Era Pixie, okay? And by the way, if this ever comes to the US, it'll be renamed to Pixie as well. And here's the reason why. I know a lot of people were upset that this reel was called Pixie, even though it was the Alphas, right? And the reason is very simple. There's another company in the US that trademarked their reel, Alpha, and Daiwa couldn't use it because Alphas is too close. So therefore, they decided to pick Pixie. I don't know why, but that's the reason they told me. Okay, so yeah, it's basically trademarked. So they couldn't use it. Anyhow, as you see, the braking location, the dial is a little different. And it makes sense because this is a different braking system, which we'll look at in a second. But you know, the back side, you know, the front, the top, they all look the same. Go back here. Here we go. Yeah, come on. Yeah. Pretty much looking the same. Anyhow, let's put this reel on the side. You notice that the paint here is a little bit more matte than the predecessor. It's a little bit glossy. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at the handle for a second. As you see here, the Pixie or the Alphas Air, it has a larger handle. And also, if you look at the handle itself, you can see that this guy here is ported right there, whereas this guy here, I guess they could have, you know, put a hole there to reduce weight. In fact, why don't we just compare the two weights? Okay, so we're just going to do a grams. And there we go. The new guy is 166.5 grams. Okay, and the Pixie BF 70, what are you? A little bit lighter, 162.76. And note that it's not because of the larger diameter spool. Let's talk more about this reel. Okay, I think the weight is really mainly the handle, but let's talk about that spool. Let's open this bad boy up. That's a loud click. Okay, and does it just pull out? Yes, it does. Behold, the K.T.F spool. All right, here we go. This is the new spool for that new Alphas BF TW, sporting the SS Magforce. Okay, once again, this is a size 30mm spool. The inductor cup, the SS Magforce, was first portrayed last year model, the SS TW, size 28mm spool. When that came out, I really want to get it because of this braking system. I want to explore it and see how it feels casted, right? But I was like, man, I already got so many bait finesse reels sporting size 28mm, right? And I have many of them from Daiwa, so I was like, I'll just wait. They'll eventually make a bigger bait finesse spool, and 1 year later, here we are. We got this guy right here. So let me just bring over the Alphas Air TW, that is. As you can see, the inductor cup is a lot smaller, okay? A lot smaller. In fact, I got some numbers from the website. They say that the inductor cup for the new guy here is 14% smaller in diameter and also 27% lighter than the predecessor, this guy right here. So it's really cool to see. Why don't we weigh these, because they say that this guy here weighs the same as this one here. So that'd be interesting to see. So let me bring this guy over right here. First, we'll weigh the new guy. Look at that, 8 grams on the dot. Sweet. It's going to be a little less if I remove the micro bearings there. Okay, but since they're both micro bearings, we'll just leave them on. Okay. Wow. Are you kidding me? Oh, wait. Okay, this guy is a little lighter, but it's very minor. Okay, it's probably some rounding issues, right? Here, let's pick it up, put it back down. 8 on the dot right there. Put this thing right back down. Now this guy's down a little bit, but look, it's the same weight, which is really insane. By the way, these two spools, including the SS Air version, the size 28mm, is made by K.T.F, Sawamura Yukihiro. So this is really, really cool. And I am assuming that Sawamura-san will be competing Bassmaster with, I guess, some of these reels here. So it'll be really cool to see how he used these guys for different fishing applications. Because this guy here, 28mm, this guy here, 30. But anyway, let's look at the side plate, okay? Let's see how the magnets are. In fact, I actually just gonna show it right here very quickly because there is a graphic from the SS Air TW, right? And I want to talk more about it showing the graphic because it makes it a lot easier to talk about the difference between the two braking mechanism. Okay, so as you guys see here, this is where the inductor cup of the predecessor goes into, and there's magnets on both sides. The new one, well, there's only magnet on the outside, okay, and it's if I could get it, you see a sparkling thick thing right there on the side? That is the magnet right there. But anyway, let's get to the infographic. So let's take a look at this image here. I've gotten this directly from the SS Air TW product page from Daiwa, Japan. So if you guys want, you guys can check out the link in the description below if you want to read more about it. I use Chrome's translate feature and I basically took a screenshot of what's portrayed here. So excuse me if the translation is wrong. It's not done by me, it's done by Google, okay? But anyway, let's talk about some of these stuff. The left side is SS Magforce and the right is the Air TW braking system. Let's talk about the colors very quick. Red is a spool shaft and the spool itself. Blue indicates the inductor cup, and then green are the magnets. As you can see, both reels will have some degree of brakes applied at all times. All right, let's first talk about the Air TW braking mechanism. If you look at the image to the right, you see a lot of circles, like pink circles. Daiwa is calling this the dead zone, and I think I can see why. It's like basically real estate that could be utilized in some way, shape, or form. In addition, the inductor cup, if it shoots out all the way maximum, it looks like it may even pass the magnets. Like some of the surface area of the inductor cup might not be utilizing all the magnets. Let's take a look at the SS Magforce to the left. It's still somewhat similar to the predecessor as it has an inductor cup that shoots out, but you see that the inductor cup is a lot smaller and it's also rotated, flipped around. If you look at the side plates and compare the two, you notice that the predecessor got 2 magnets, whereas the new one only have 1. Now, when the entire inductor cup shoots out on the SS Magforce, you'll also see that the entire inductor cup can sit and be positioned exactly where the entire magnet is. So at a max speed, okay, you can see that the entire inductor cup will utilize more of the magnets, therefore it can apply more brakes. Now let's take a look back at the predecessor. I guess this is what the dead zone means. When the inductor cup shoots out very far in, it may go past, depending on your brake setting, the magnets, and therefore it's not really utilizing all of the magnets. I guess this is how they're able to reduce the inductor cup size and still generate enough power. But wait, there's actually one more thing. If you take a look at the inductor cup, right, not only that it's flipped upside down, you can see that there's two sections. There's an outer section that is going to be sitting further away from the magnets, and then the inner portion of the inductor cup is actually closer to the magnets. This is really cool because the closer to the magnet means it's going to be applying more braking power, whereas if the inductor cup is further away from the magnet, it'll be applying less power. All right, now that we went over the diagram and I'm looking at these two spools one more time, I realized that I cannot actually move this cup because it's very hard to move. But if I'm looking through here, you might not be able to see that little diagonal cross. Let me try to adjust the light. You can see it right there barely. I'll zoom in, but I'm gonna put this down for a second. But it looks like it may have like SV style braking system, and I'm gonna show you by showing you the predecessor. Okay, so for those who are not familiar with Daiwa braking reels, we have this inductor cup that shoots in and out. Okay, when it spins very fast, this thing will shoot out into the braking cup, right? But when it slows back down, it doesn't just shoot right back down. Not the SV models, the very old style Magforce Z, it does that. Okay, just go in and out. But for SV style, it actually sits on a plastic ramp. So it first shoot out, and as it slows down, it doesn't just drop back. It actually slowly retract. You see this? I'm actually just twisting. I'm not pulling. I'm twisting. Okay, see that? So it will slowly retract, giving a very smooth braking mechanism. Okay, so you have a super smooth cast. And I feel like this might have it too, because I'm looking at it in a specific angle. I do see some sort of a ramp. Okay, I see the plastic ramp right there. And I'll move the light again, and I'll zoom in, and you guys can probably see that. What does this braking mechanism, like how does it differ from this guy here? Okay, so this guy right here is advertised to be a lot more versatile. Like reels that have this guy here could do way more casts than this guy right here. And I'll give you some example very quickly. Okay, so I have this reel right here, right? This is the Salamander Air TW. This is the Tatula BF variant sold in China and SEA. This guy here differs from the Tatula BF 70, is mainly the braking system. Although it is the same Air TW, the inductor cup is a lot smaller, thus lighter, and also the springs is configured differently. The tension on the spring is configured differently. Okay, so this guy here is a lot lighter brake than the Tatula BF 70. This guy here is made for close quarter casting, very soft entry, so low trajectory casting. And in Asia, they like to do it very softly with very light brakes so that they can achieve far casting distance with just a small little cast. Okay, that's what the Asian casting style is all about. But because this reel is so under braked, it's actually very, very difficult for you to cast some of those heavy lures far because it'll just blow up. And also, it makes it very difficult to skip. Whereas that is not a problem with the BF 70 because the Tatula BF 70 is a lot heavier braked. Okay, so you have basically two reels doing two different things. Okay, so back to this guy. If you look at the SS Magforce braking system, the braking cup, the cup now utilizes the entire magnet. Okay, so therefore, having this inductor cup smaller than the predecessor, it's still strong because of one reason. If you look at the inductor cup, you can see kind of like a step. Okay, you can see that the outer portion is further away from the magnets, and then the portion of the cup that's further into the cup, that is going to be positioned closer to the magnets. Okay, so if this spool is spinning super fast, it will utilize the back brakes. But if it's not spinning fast enough, well, it doesn't need to use that overpowering brakes. So therefore, it uses the front section of the inductor cup where it's further away from the magnets. So this is why they say it's very versatile. You can have one reel and it behaves very differently depending on how heavy you cast. So I'm very excited. I can't wait to get on the water and do some cast testing, varying my casting power. So there you have it, my unboxing video of the Alphas BF TW. And I'm very excited because this is a brand new braking system and I can't wait to see how it behaves. So stay tuned for my cast testing video. I will most certainly cast to see how light it goes, but I will start off with PE and I'll be using 0.8 go rather than my usual 0.6 go, because this reel here is not trying to throw, the 1 gram mark. I will put about 150 feet on and see how it behaves. If it can cast 1.5 grams, it'll be fantastic. I don't think the bass tournament scenes, they'll cast that low anyway. And then also, I think I'm gonna try something new for 2025, and that is I'm gonna start fishing with not PE line, but fluorocarbon. So if you want to see how these reels, in fact, some of my older reels too, and how they behave being fished with different diameter fluoro, let me know in the comments below. But this reel for sure, Tatula BF 770 for sure. I'll play around with it with fluoro and see how it differs with PE. I heard a lot of good things about using fluoro, so I am very excited. And also, okay, as I mentioned, that there's gonna be more bait finesse fishing in the US, in a US tournament scene. Yukihiro Sawamura with K.T.F, who helped design the spool, he is in America doing tournaments, fishing the Bassmaster along with many other Japanese, and there's several of them. They are all using bait finesse, so it'll be really cool to see. Anyhow, here's one last look at side plate. I really like the new side plate, and I can't wait to fish it. So I thank you all for watching. The fish don't wait. Tight lines. Digitaka.